Hi, and welcome back to Define. In today's video, we will cover direct and indirect objects. In English grammar, objects are the parts of a sentence that receive the action. To understand objects, let's start with three key parts of a sentence: the subject, the verb, and the object. The subject performs the action, the verb is the action, and the object receives the action. For example, in the sentence, the teacher assigns homework. Teacher is the subject and performs the action of assigning. Assigns is the verb that the subject performs, and homework is the object of the verb and answers the questions what was assigned. A direct object is the noun or pronoun that directly receives the action of the verb. It answers the question what or whom after the verb. In the sentence, she reads a book. When you ask reads what, the answer is a book, which is the direct object. Or in the sentence, the dog chased the ball. Chased what? The answer is the ball, which is the direct object. An indirect object receives the direct object. It answers the question to whom or for whom the action is done. In the sentence, he gave her a gift. Gift is the direct object, as it's the thing given. But her is the indirect object because it's the person to whom the gift was given. Another example, she sent him a message. Here, message is the direct object, while him is the indirect object, since he's the person receiving the direct object, the message. Direct objects usually follow the verb, and indirect objects are typically seen before the direct object. For example, she sent him a message. Him is the indirect object, and message is the direct object. But if we say, she sent a message to him, we use a prepositions to with the indirect object him and the direct object message still following the verb. There is a grammatical rule in English called the dative alternation based on the position of an indirect object relative to the verb. We will take a look at it later in this video. One critical reason to identify direct and indirect objects is to ensure clarity in communication. Knowing who or what is directly affected by an action, direct object, versus who benefits or is indirectly affected, indirect object, removes ambiguity, making the sentence's meaning clear to the reader or listener. This precision is especially important in complex sentences where misinterpreting objects can lead to confusion about who or what is involved in the action. Can you identify them in the following statements? The term dative originates from Latin grammar and refers to a grammatical case used to indicate the recipient of an action. In languages that have a dative case, it typically marks the indirect object or the person or thing that receives or benefits from the action of the verb. English doesn't have a formal dative case like languages such as Latin, German, or Russian do, but it does follow similar patterns in the way it structures indirect objects. In English, it refers to the ability to switch between different sentence structures or forms to express the same idea. Accordingly, when the indirect object is placed after the direct object in a sentence, a preposition is typically required to clarify the relationship between the objects. As seen in the examples given here, this rule is applicable only when both the direct and indirect objects are present in the sentence. So, if both these objects are not available in a statement, then we cannot apply this rule. Can you identify whether it's applicable in the following statements? Make sure to like this video, share it with someone you know, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, take care.